my anxiety levels of the past would have been through the roof. Today we're going to talk about Stoic philosophy and how it can be so powerful in making a difference in our lives. I used to be in my head all the time, like worried about what people might say or do, worried about things coming in the future, worried about something that happened in the past. It made me so anxious all of the time, and I had to find a way out. Then I read a ton about Stoic philosophy and how we can incorporate it into our lives. And once I started doing that, it made a huge difference. So there are some really specific steps I'm going to go into at the end, but first stick with me while I explain a scenario that I think everyone can relate to. This has actually happened to me twice this week, where a flight was first super delayed and another time totally canceled. And my anxiety levels of the past would have been through the roof. But I've learned that stressing out about it does not make the plane get there any faster. So the basic principle teaches us that there are certain things that are out of our control. There are things in our life that will always be out of our control. And if there's nothing we can do to change those external things, we can change our reactions to those things that will make a huge difference on how it impacts us personally. That way we can focus on what we control and not stress over what we can't control. By maintaining our reactions to external things and our internal emotions. So it doesn't even have to be a delayed flight. It could be sitting in traffic. It could be stuck waiting for the subway. It could be standing in a really super long line. Whenever we find ourselves getting frustrated because we're waiting for something. So the first thing is to notice. In order to be able to become more emotionally intelligent and help mold your emotional responses to things, you first have to be able to notice what your body is reacting to. So when you start to realize that your heart's beating a little bit faster, you're starting to get a little flushed, like your body temperature is going up, maybe you have clenched fists or clenched jaw, tight muscles, notice your body is reacting to your emotional response to that thing. That's the first step. The second thing then is to realize the being stuck in traffic, the waiting for the plane is out of your control. So take that situation and instead of obsessing on what you can't change, instead, take a walk in the airport, read a book. If you're sitting in your car, put on funny videos that make you smile. Listen to an audiobook. If you're in an airport, go to the bookstore and buy a snack. Walk around. Just doing anything you can to fill your mind and your time with something other than freaking out about the thing that's holding you up. Once you recognize the external factor that you can't change, then it's easier to identify the things that you can do to change to bring yourself back down to a more emotionally stable level. Second two is accept the circumstances. There are certain things you can't change, and once you realize that, you're able to move on from it. Next, you could start to master your reactions, because once you realize you're having the negative reaction and you know that you can change certain parts of that scenario, then you're actually making a conscious decision to not react negatively to things you can't control. Another step is to learn to embrace life's unpredictability. There will be unpredictability in your life, your entire life. By accepting that now, you've crossed a huge hurdle in being able to move forward in a more positive and healthy manner. People that want to control everything, every person, every situation are absolutely already up against a wall. Things are just not going to happen the way you want them to most of the time. But if you can learn to accept that, and you can learn to breathe through that, and you can learn to consciously have a different emotional reaction to what's happening, you can actually train your brain to stop having those immediate reactions to external situations that you can't control. It's a circle that you're building of retraining your body, retraining your mind, retraining your mindset for a happier and healthier way of life.